Hi, this is Acme with the US stock highlights here on Share Talk for Thursday, the 18th of March. And starting off with American Outdoor Brands, which looks like it started at a rather challenging time in the stock market, or at least in terms of the wider world. Here we've got a gap to the upside through the old February peak, which was at $24.05, and above that on an end-of-day close basis. We're guessing that the top of the trend channel here is towards $40, and that could be seen as soon as the next 1 to 2 months, maybe even as soon as the end of next month. But we've got that $24 possible support, and also, I suppose, only back below the floor of the overnight gap at $23.41, really questioning the ongoing breakout scenario. Next up, a stock which hasn't been here too often in terms of appearances on this particular sweep, but here we are today, and we've got, if I can type it out properly, we've got Alpha Metallurgical Resources. Here, a simple chart. Well, it appears relatively simple in the sense we've got a rising trend channel that's been in place since June last year. And also, I suppose most notable, we've got 3 decent support points for the shares at and above the $10 mark, which is looking pretty strong. I suppose all we need now is an end-of-day close above the 50-day moving average, call that at $14. To take us up to $18 as soon as the end of next month. In fact, we're probably looking for much more than $18, but at this stage, maybe one doesn't want to jump the gun. Possibility that after the narrow range that we've been in, the next move upwards through $18 would be as high as $28, but we'll see how that goes. Clearly, any breakback below this week's support at $11, delaying the upside scenario. Moving along to a stock and a couple of stocks in the same kind of area, actually. The first one is Allied Esports, which sounds very fashionable at the moment. Here we've got the third attempt at getting through the $3.50 level, maybe wait for an end-of-day close through last month's peak, $3.59, and that could then take the shares up towards $5 by the end of next month. Stop loss back below yesterday's floor. That was around the $3 level, so sorry, $2.50 level, so keep an eye on that too. Moving on to a stock which is also looking pretty strong at the moment, Colorstar Technology. Here you can see that the shares managed to close yesterday above the rising 50-day moving average. That can be a decent buy signal in its own right, especially when accompanied by a green candle rather than a red one as we had earlier in the month. We've got follow through on yesterday's key reversal to the upside as well. We broke yesterday the previous day's high, and then the previous day's low, and then the previous day's high, and we had a low above the 200-day moving average, currently at 79 cents. But all of that goes to give us the idea that while we're above the initial March peak at $91, we're looking towards $1.40 at the top of that broadening triangle from the end of September. $1.40 hopefully seen by the end of next month. Going on to a stock which is looking pretty sharp at the moment, Dunxin Financial Services. Here we've had a gap to the upside, one of our favorite setups. We had a key reversal to the upside yesterday as well, so that's another tick. All we're waiting for now really is an end-of-day close through the February peak, which was at $2.20. Above that, either today or tomorrow or over the next few days, and we could head up to $3.50. $3.50, ideally, that would be delivered by the end of next month or sooner for Dunxin Financial. Onto a stock which is pretty popular compared to many of the others I'm discussing here today, Express Inc. Here we've got the break of that initial March peak. That was at $2.51. Sorry, $4.35 rather, let's get that right. And above $4.35, looking for as high as $8, which was resistance on the way down. That could be seen, hopefully, by the end of next month. Moving along to a stock which got plenty of coverage, I think, a couple of weeks ago, largely on the basis of its ticker code, but also on the basis of its charting configuration, which is amazing at the moment. Second Sight Medical Products. Here we've got a classic bull flag here, really, just a sort of really textbook type of situation here. Looks like we've broken out or breaking out or are going to break out of this bull flag. The peak to break is an end-of-day close above $15.88, and above that on an end-of-day close, which it looks like we'll get today, we could head as high as $40 over the next 1 to 2 months. So that takes us maybe towards the end of April or going into May, but one would expect this situation to move pretty fast. As far as the downside is concerned, only really back below that support line and the old March support area around the $9 mark, really delaying the upside scenario, but it'd be surprising now we're even below yesterday's $12.50 floor. Moving along to a stock which is also worth the bulls keeping an eye on at the moment. Here we've got Evolving Systems, and we had that gap to the upside today. We want to see really where this stock manages to close in coming days. I suppose the right level is around the $3.50, $3.60 in terms of old resistance becoming new support. So far the low today, $3.62. Ideally we hold above that and then go on to retest the best levels of the day so far at $5.63. That would be the target over the next month or so, giving it a bit of extra time. Otherwise, on a longer 2 to 3 month time frame, maybe up to $6 or $7 along the late October resistance line projection. This stage already back below yesterday's floor at $3.15, delaying the upside scenario at Evolving Systems. Moving on to a stock which is worth the bulls keeping an eye on, Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment. Here we've had this stock covered before. It was one which is obviously very closely linked to the progress of COVID. Current situation is that, unfortunately for the bulls, we've actually hit this resistance line there from August last year. That's running around the $3.10 level, and really looking for an end of day or a weekly close above that in order to give us the $5 target on a 1 to 2 month time frame, which is probably logical at this stage of the pandemic. It's also logical given the way that we had an island reversal going to start the year, and also we've just gapped up as well through the initial March resistance around $2.80. So it'd be a bit unfair if we didn't go on to break $3.10 and then go on to $5. So that is a situation worth keeping an eye on. Probably if you were looking for a stop loss, which is a dynamic one, then the 50-day moving average area around $2.35 would be the ideal charting furniture to use. Stock which is not so difficult to fathom at the moment is one that I will type out correctly right now, JFIN Group. I think we've looked at this quite a few times in the recent past. Here we can see that shares have managed to hit and blow the lights out in terms of the target. We had a rather optimistic extra resistance line projection up to $13, and we've actually hit that today, which we're actually quite proud of, I suppose, at the moment. The way to play it now, though, is that we've got the old March peak there at around the $8.86 level. Above that, on an end-of-day close basis, we could still retest the $13 area and also head higher, but let's see how we go in the near term. Obviously, there's old resistance from 2019 at the $16 plus area, but at the moment, just focusing on $13 while we hold above that old $8.86 level. On to another stock which I've covered recently and seems to be still buzzing like a bee, Liukong Technology. Here the situation is that we gapped up earlier in the week, and we're gapping up again, which is always gratifying. The view is that at least while there's no end-of-day close back below that last March peak of $1.66, we could head up towards and retest February resistance through $3.50. This stage already back below, I suppose, the 50-day moving average at $1.18, really delaying the upside scenario. But if you can't afford that, you would be looking for around the $1.30 area, the top of the last gap, or the gap before last, on the daily chart. Going on to stock which I do remember feeling rather keen about, and it seems that the shares have fulfilled that enthusiasm. Here we've got MOXC with a sharp spike earlier in the session. We're still above that old initial March resistance at $2.70, and the longer we stay above that, the greater the chance of a move towards the top of a rising trend channel from back in August 2019 as high as $5.40. That could be seen as soon as the end of next month, especially if we hold above the last month's resistance area towards, between $3 and $3.20. Second trendy esport type company coming up now, Super League Gaming. Here we've got beautiful turnaround for the shares, especially over the last few weeks, although it's been rather volatile. It would have been difficult to ride that particular volatility out, but current position is that we've actually hit one of the previous targets that we had at $9, looking for an end of day close through $9 to give us the next level up for those who wish to chase this situation. That would be towards the $12 area, which is a line of resistance from May 2019. So above $9, looking for $12 on Super League Gaming, and it's worth watching out just for that old peak there at $9.10 on an end of day close basis, the initial March peak, for a trigger to give us a journey towards the $12 area. Just 3 stocks to go now. First one coming up, which is not so familiar here. We've got Upstart Holdings, and a beautiful gap to the upside here with not much charting furniture either, which is always more intriguing and interesting. That peak last month was at $105, and while we're above that, well, it was 105.58 was the ultimate peak in last month. Above that, we're looking for as high as $170 at the top of that rather imaginatively drawn rising trend channel from December. So any dips towards the 105 area are currently regarded as a technical buy opportunity, but obviously it's early days yet in terms of the chart, and I'm not sure how many people could withstand the rather wide range that we've had for the shares or so far today. Just as they say, just in the closing stages here today. Second last stock is one that we can look at now. WKEY International here, another very large ranging day, breaking that old February peak at $11.50, and above that we are estimating that we could hit a line of resistance from back in January last year up to $21 over the next 2 to 4 weeks, maybe even sooner. If you are a fan of the shares and looking for a larger target, it would be up towards as high as $33 on the basis that that's effectively the top of a rising trend channel that you can draw from the beginning of last year. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out and whether we get a massive mover situation. Last stock of the day is on its way now. Here we've got Williams Sonoma, and here a beautiful gap through resistance. That's from the end of January. The level there around $1.51.16, and above that looking for the top of the channel, which is currently pointing as high as $200. That channel is from the beginning of last year. The stop loss, I suppose, towards the low 150s, either the 151.16 mentioned or an end of day close back below today's initial low at $1.53.39. Let's see how we go with Williams Sonoma. That's it from me today. More updates tomorrow.